Hello and welcome back to Highfleet. So, we are very nearly at the end here. We're close to Kiva. I think going forwards, I'm at least going to make the attempt to split up my forces and see how far I can get. I might be able to sneak the Nomad down here and see if that can deal with most of this on its own. It's not like we're sending a ship that's not capable or anything. But on a full tank, it can get all the way down to Dan. So I'm going to try and clear all of this out with just the Nomad. Hopefully, that will work. If it doesn't, I can always reload the save here and we can give it another go, taking the Hellfire as well. Right, but this is kind of what I'm worried about, just coming across these larger garrisons with it being near the end of the game now. I think it's got... yeah, we've got some minigun secondaries. And I'm going to use these or lose them here. Yeah, and they're all circling round. Not really able to do much about it. But the Paladin is gone, right. Right, there, an easy target being up there. And I'll take any easy target that they give themselves to me. Ooh. That shot went in and blew up the rightmost fuel tank. Costs armor piercing. That's disabled. Yeah, the ammo's exploded and we are now done for. Right. So yeah, Vasama here. Was it Vasama? Oh, what? One of the small corvettes with some large caliber shells just loaded the armor piercing and just insta killed the Nomad because apparently that's where the game is right now. I'm just getting inundated with missiles. We'll try and get what we can. Yeah, Slogger, that might have been what did it. That should be him done. We've got to kill that Archangel before it starts using armor piercing. And this Paladin really needs to go, it's just firing all these missiles at me. Right, if we can survive this last bit now, that should be it done. There's an Archangel up there. And it's loading armor piercing. Right, come on. Nope. listing. Yeah, we're going. I'm having to do a full burn to just keep afloat. Well, in the air, however you phrase it. Yeah, there's the engine overheat. We're gonna go. No, we're gone. Jesus Christ, what the hell just hit me? Someone must have been using armor piercing off the side of bloody screen. Got one. Final. Right, let's get that Archangel with some missiles. One up left. Nimrod, that's what's doing it. This is not going great. Right, we've got the Sama. Not that it's going to help much. That Slogger's still just shredding me. Right, we've got them. Now just the Archangel. Which is refusing to goddamn die. There we go. Jesus Christ. Look at the damage on the bottom left. That is... Right. Let's go for... We don't have to go for these that are possibly going to be destroyed. We can just go for these. So it saves us putting crew protection on. And there we go. Decent loot, actually, from all of that. Which we're going to need, because the Nomad is now basically dead. Like, genuinely, it's gone. It's dead. This is an unbelievable amount of damage. Right, let's sell all the spare things we got. Over 300 hours for the cost of 8 grand, we can get it to have most of the armour back on. Jesus Christ. It was... I'll just double, triple check here because I don't want to do it wrong. Yeah, Haran. Load game. Haran. No way. Absolutely not. I'm just under no circumstances accepting that the Nomad is going to be completely wrecked like that. Well, there's our answer. No, we can't split our forces. The Nomad is, because of the armor piercing changes, the Nomad, which is a giant, like, how much is that shit worth? Like, nearly 100 grand or something? A giant sort of, almost like a sub-capital ship, isn't it? It's almost a capital ship in its own right. That thing is apparently incapable of killing one garrison anymore without being out of action for 300 hours. And apparently this is a fair, balanced change. My backside it is. Right. Yeah, it's just with the new armor piercing changes, that's not, it's not feasible to just send a Nomad anymore. It can't even fend for itself, which is ridiculous to me. That. There's not much point sending the Nomad. It'll just eat more fuel. If it's not going to really be assisting us, we may as well just leave it here for now. We'll take the others and we'll land. So we will split our forces, but I'm just going to leave the Nomad behind. It doesn't need to come on this trip anymore now. There's some interesting discussions taking place on the Steam community on the Steam community boards about these changes, of course, as you can imagine. It's basically yeah, it's in fact I'll wait till this is, oh crap, they've got armor piercing. Right, kill that thing first. This one is using AP. Right, so yeah, there's some interesting discussions on the Steam, like the community tabs and such for this. It's basically, it revolves around loads of people saying, oh thanks devs for updating the game, which is all fair enough, but then there's of course just loads of people basically screeching for both sides as to whether or not they like or hate the update. I will say, my problem isn't that the AI can use armor piercing ammo. I think it's actually a reasonable change that the AI should be able to use all ammo types available. You know, AI that can use ammo types is a cool feature to have. The issue is that, let's be honest, armor piercing is blatantly overpowered. Right, we'll not actually fill it, we'll just fill enough as to get to a cadver. Right. There we go. So, of course, the issue then being, of course, that, well, okay, we've got, so we've got them using ammo types, alright, that's all well and good, but again, the issue is that I would say that proximity ammo is exactly where I would want it. It's really good for shooting down missiles or fast-moving targets. It's more like birdshot. It's really good, well balanced, don't mind it. The laser ammo I've not used much, it just seems okay, it's more accurate. I guess you can pay for that if you want. Then there's the incendiary, which is quite good. It's a nice way for smaller ships to be able to do some damage to larger ones when they've got low caliber guns. So like low caliber fighters can still do something to, say, like a nomad or something, if they can just get in and spray them with incendiary and just get everything set on fire. But they're not that effective, incendiary. They're good and they really do start fires, but they're not that effective because of usually the types of caliber guns you put it on and the targets that you'll be using against. They're not really the kind of where that I would expect them to be. But the big one is armor piercing, which I will admit, I've from when I've used it, I've always thought it's been a bit over effective. It's too effective. It just goes straight through. It really is like a laser being cutting through a ship. Are our repairs complete? Halfway. So of course the Steam discussion board has been basically full of people just yelling at each other, and it's like one guy saying, well, just adapt and change all of your tactics that you've learnt the past few months. And, you know, everyone else is kind of there going, no, it's kind of broken. I mean, it's a fair point, it's just okay, you redesign it, and it makes the game less about having giant death boxes that are just, you know, like armoured bricks, granted, but when you have a grid system for designing the ships, what shape did you expect them to take, you know? So yeah, if you give people bricks, they're gonna make, you know, if you give people blocks, they're gonna make an armoured brick. I like to think that mine's a little less blocky, but it's still gonna be blocky. It's on a grid system. You know, if you're using Legos to build things, then it's gonna look like a big Lego block afterwards, most likely. Even if you do try to make it into other shapes, it'll still end up looking a bit like a Lego block. You know, it'll look a bit blocky. It just will. You'll not have like nice rounded edges. Not unless you add those in. Right, nearly through. They're gone. Destroy that. There we go. Gladiator, that needs to go. Got him. got to get out of the way so there's no debris there. Right, there we go. But yeah, I think my stance on it would just be that I do think that I don't have any problem with the AI using them. I have a problem with AP rounds being overpowered. Right, there's no fuel that's going to explode, so we might be able to quickly...
Thermal signature detected. Visual contact.
Damn. Three times 800, that's worth more. Right, they are being jammed. So if we're just relatively quick about this, but which we can't be because we have to be fuel, but if we at least try to be a bit quick, we might be able... Okay, 20 hours, that's probably about how long we'll be refueling anyway. Get full tank. And get the jammers on. And we've got 6 hours, no problem. But yeah, it's a weird one, and again, I think it's just they need to be toned down a bit, you know. Sure, they should ignore your armour, but they shouldn't just go in through the ship, out the other end, and destroy everything along the way.
Thermal signature detected. Attention. Thermal signature.
I'm gonna just beat the snot out of this for that. Right, so let's see, we've got these here, then it's just these, like, basic bitch missile carriers. There's a Nimrod, and a... Let's see, there's a Navine, there's an Intrepid. There's a few high caliber rounds there. There might be some armor piercing, but I don't think there'll be much. This will probably just be me wiping the floor with a bunch of relatively small ships. Look out for all this fallen debris, which is very hard to see with it being night time, but Right, there we go. I honestly think with these changes that have been made, though, to be fair... Oh, here come the aircraft. Knew that were going to happen, eh? Let's hope it's not too bad. No, there they are. It's annoying because they've still got the bombs off. Luckily, I've got trophy systems, so, well, active protection systems. Which, by the way, like, looking at armor and its effectiveness now, I think that genuinely active protection systems are now going to be the single greatest thing to have ever existed on the Earth. I need this one last plane to go dead, to just be dead, because I need that thing to not be on fire. Yeah, the fuel silos almost burnt entirely to a crisp. Great. We might get the crew protection and we can get a bit of fuel. We'll go for that. Right. I don't think we'll be able to land the fuel silo for some reason, you know? Just saying. Right. While we have some repairs here to do, they're not that important, and the fuel silo probably needs at least something doing. Okay, maybe not. No, it's gonna take ages. Right. We'll just go straight away to here. Deal with this. Come back. And finish our journey. With enough for another fuel tank. Another full tank. We might be able to get more. We might be able to get a bit more by selling another couple of nukes, but we won't need to send too much. We might even get a fair bit of loot here because there's a lot of enemy ships. Eyes on these gladiators, I think. The Nimrod could be quite nasty, so that those can all use armor piercing. I think it has to be 100 mil or higher to use AP. I think those are the caliber guns that use it. We got a sudden strike off. Right, let's see if we got anything. Yeah, they really shouldn't go directly below me. All the sides. Right, a few hits. Just kind of speculative firing off the screen, basically, here. Oh, they're gone.
The enemy has been destroyed. Target destroyed. Kill confirmed.
And lastly, the thing that we came for, The Hellfire is now more maneuverable in combat. I think just get the fuel there. Okay. I don't know what even blew that up. Do the guns blow things up now? Southwest. So, triangulated, basically. Far south, far southeast, southwest. Yeah. It's in this pocket here somewhere. The south, I would say. I think there's one there. If I had a, if I had the fuel, I would go and investigate this. But again, it's southwest, so it has to be. It's one of those. Basically, it's one of those. I guess it could be there. Possibly in Mution. Maybe. I think it's probably them. But again, it could be here. So it could be, you know, maybe. Keeping in mind I have to come back this way. It could be, you know, a couple grand worth of fuel. Could be several, you know, it could be like 5 grand worth, 10 grand worth. Going on nearly 20 grand worth of fuel. Then to come back. Now, I could cut across here to Tarshish. I could do that. It's a possibility. Swing by here, repair one last time and go to Kiva. But we don't clear this area then. This area isn't clear. I could go with the Nomad, but... That's a very good question, that. How much funding do I have? No, that's half of my money. Have I found any more ammo since? Some 8 mil incendiary. We'll sell it. We didn't get anything to do there. Is this just cosmetic stuff or will it cost me a bit? It'll cost me a fair bit. Will not. Oh, but that's armor on the guns. That needs patching. Yeah, that's going to need patching up before we set off. At least to the point where the armor's back there. This, we're just going to have to, I think, sell a few things. Right, how many nukes we've got? So 15 ends, just get them all. Just like stack them all on top so I can get a better idea of. These are not even stacking. There we go. Come on, you go there. Right. We've got 17 nukes and 5 nuclear interceptors, which they're probably more important for the final bit, but we do need a few nukes just to lob at the carriers anyway, because I want to soften them up. Send some like little corvettes out with nukes on to just lob at them. Yeah. We can't get that repaired. Might as well be repairing while it's sat. I can sell a couple of guns. Most of these are for the wingman to repair it with when we eventually regroup. So I want to be a bit careful with that. But all repairs will be free soon, so maybe I can sell some of the parts. The thing is, these are they're rather rare to come by, so I'll sell some of the easier to come by parts. Right. 18 grand. I can sell more nukes. I don't want to sell more nukes, but I can sell more nukes. A Tarkan here. Because keep in mind, if we get an ally, every star on that, every star we generate from the conversation is a additional ship for the end game. It may actually be worth going through here. Plus it would mean that I could get a small ship, maybe a tanker of some description, just some kind of support vessel to come down here, push through these areas and hold up here, and I could even send another few reinforcements this way, and they can act as an early warning system down here. Just by having one ship, because this entire area will be clear, they can gather reinforcements and hold up and just warn us about anything coming this way. Basically just act as an early warning system. The Nomad could swing past here. We could just cut across here to this area. It would only have to take out one outpost, and we can rendezvous with it here after going through Tashish. So I'm gonna rub these markings off. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of all these markings. Right. Okay, so close enough. Right, those are the cities that we'll have to defend. Our new course will be through here. Hopefully, the sooner we meet this Tarkan, the better. They might be here, they might be here. They could be in Mushin. It's a possibility. How long's left? Right, we'll wait till the Hellfire's just got the armor plates back on and it's looking good. But yeah, the Nomad will just have to clear this one area out by itself. I'm fairly certain it is capable of doing that. We'll certainly give it a go. Right. But this doesn't just benefit us having more ships at the end, it benefits us in that we'll have this area cleared. So if one of the carriers spawns down here, it will be basically we'll be able to block up this area and just kill it on its way in. But, right, we are nearly repaired. We can push through here in a moment. And yeah, it's giving me additional fuel. You know, I bet it is. I bet we'd not finished refueling from the fuel that we gathered from the wreckage. So it probably filled us up to full, but we already had some extra that it didn't take into account. I bet that's what's happened. It must be. Right, we're done. Right. Some nasty ships. Shouldn't be too bad. That's a flower gone. So we'll not just be eating missiles for the next minute or two. That's them gone. Now I'm actually going to burn for a few missiles here. I'm kind of taking a use it or lose it attitude with these. Oh, something just hit me like a truck. I think I took an armor-piercing shell on the right side. Please be a Tarkin. Please. We'll secure the valuables. We'll get the crew protection on, and not enough. Right, too bad. I don't see the sign for a Tarkin. Unfortunate. And that's going to be 8 grand worth of fuel. And yeah, armor piercing shell right up there took out both the engines and the generator. Ridiculous how much they do. Again, I wouldn't mind if it just went through the armor and then just hit the first thing. Yeah, it's like, oh no, armor piercing, boom, and it just takes out an engine. Fine, okay, it's annoying. But it doesn't. It goes in, takes out the engine, and then just travels like a laser through the ship. And I know what people will be saying, because I know what it's going to be, oh, but isn't that realistic? Sort of, but not really. I mean, the issue now is, with that generator gone, 4 of the guns aren't working at this point. Right. So, I think realistically, like, how armor piercing is supposed to work. So, IRL, it's a soft metal shell. So usually like a softer metal. But the very core of the shell is usually a dense metal. They usually use stuff like tungsten or like depleted uranium or something. And it's basically a spike. And when it impacts, the soft metal ends up basically crushing and compacting, basically pushing this like solid core dart through the armour. So it gets in, and it's obviously used against tanks. It gets into the compartment then, and it bounces around in there and hits a bunch of stuff and kills people, and that's basically it. It gets in and then bounces around. The way it's modelled in this is it goes through armour and then just destroys everything in a line like a laser. You can't model how it would realistically work in this because obviously it's not, you're not modelling a 3D space, everything's 2D in this. I would honestly say that it should just basically impact explode on the first thing. Like, it should just go, basically it should just ignore the first layer of armor and then just hit whatever's behind it. And that's how I tend to think it should work, so that, you know, it's armor piercing, it ignores one layer of armor, but, you know, 2 layers, 3 layers, it'll still have to chip through. I think that will be fairly balanced at that point, but, you know, just my thoughts on it. The devs do whatever the devs want, it's their game. Just a bit annoying when you see a game that you know, when you've got a certain playstyle that you've developed and you've designed these ships around them and you've iterated it and you've kind of got your technique down, and then it all just flips on from under you. I've had it happen on a lot of other games though. I'm not unfamiliar with it. I used to play a lot of Crossout, if you've not heard of it. It's like a game where you basically build your own like Mad Max style cars, and I started off using nothing but shotguns. They were absolutely amazing. Then you know, you get to the higher tiers, the shotguns aren't as good because for start the power consumption went up on the higher up ones, so basically you could mount fewer of them and they became a bit meh at the higher tiers of the game. So I started using machine guns, which were a bit better, and I ended up using miniguns, and miniguns are just horribly underdeveloped in that game. They've put them in and then not done much after that, which is a bit annoying. But then they have basically, as time's gone on, they've added more guns, more weapons, more counters to things. And after going back to it, I think it was the other year, last summer, but there's basically now the meta is you either go in a big shotgun wedge, just like an armoured door wedge with shotguns attached, or you go with like a giant hover monstrosity that just fires lasers at people that look horrible, but they're meta, you know, they're really good in the game even though they look like absolute arse. And you know, and you feel dirty for playing them, so I don't. And the other one is just a giant spider walker mech with enormous cannons, which sounds fun, but the parts you need for that are incredibly rare and expensive, and it'll be hours and hours and, well, you know, days and weeks and months of grinding to get them. Whereas I'm there in my high tier, you know, hot rod thing with miniguns attached, you know, relic of the past, and it's like, well, I spent my time grinding this back in the day, and now it's useless and it feels awful because of it. But I still go on now and then, have a bit of fun and last few people. But yeah, it is a bit like that. That's kind of what's happened here. It's, you know, I've been trying to think of how I would counter the idea of armor piercing, and you can, but you would have to design a specific ship that is designed to defeat armor piercing. It's like, well, how would you do it? Well, active protection systems and make it really light and maneuverable. Because if armor's useless, don't have any. That's basically it. Oh wow, they're all in a line. Let's see if we can get the protection on. Grab that. That could be useful, that. Lovely. Ooh, and a gift, yeah. If we're about to meet a Tarkin, that will be very useful. Please be here. They're not here, are they? Oh dear. It's not going well. Please say you've got some generators. Oh, they have. I'm not as fussed over the missiles. You can leave them. I'll just take the generators. God, the problem is that they're wanting to put on the missiles, and I don't want the missiles. Right, 900 quid there. Do that. In fact, what this actually reminds me of, it reminds me of when I got back when I played World of Warships, which just recently they've had loads of controversy surrounding changes to the game and scummy microtransaction practices and a bunch of other things, and it's just like community outrage has kind of boiled over. We're already repaired. That's interesting. These are not all active. Damn. Ammo is needed as well. God damn it. Ah, that's the ammo then being added. Then it's the missiles. That. Yeah, do that much. Put the ammo on. So, anyway, it's in a load of controversy at the moment, but I remember way back when, so battleships were, they were in the game from the start, obviously. Everyone wants to play the big battleships. They're awesome, why wouldn't you? I really hope it's here and not there. So I'm heading here. And, of course, they immediately got just ripped apart by, well, there's destroyers and torpedo boats in the game, basically. So they would get absolutely shredded, and I really mean shredded, by any kind of... Ooh, we got sudden strike. Come on, there-ish. Get him. That one as well. Blown to smithereens. No, wreckage on the right side, goddamn. Get off. Right, there we go. Bit of a knock on the right side just because there were some debris that clipped it. Well, that ammo is going to blow up. Can we get that just in time? We can. Have we finally... Yes! Thank God for that. Your guards escort a visitor into the mess hall of your ship. Everyone falls silent for the moment he steps inside. They cannot help but recognize his well-tailored uniform, bearing the insignia of a high rank in the gathering fleet. Ooh, they're from the gathering then. A gathering officer. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Admiral Wan. Until recently I was the commander of the gathering's 2nd Eastern Squadron. A former gathering officer. I was relieved of duty 2 years ago due to disagreements with high command. I now command a group of others like me, so to speak. We are all former gathering officers and soldiers who happened to have a falling out with our superiors. Could you tell me your full name, Admiral Wan? Now is not the time. Everyone calls me Wan. This is the only name I can give you for the time being. Oh, he's being cryptic. Well, we're here as an ally, so let's find out. Are you a Romani? Devoted to Romanis. Ooh. He already loves us. And let's see, the prosperous future. Oh, he hates the lames. Now we know. The great destiny of the Romani Empire. That's what we'll say, yes. We're destined for greatness. We can say it again, just to get another turn, right? There we go, next turn, let's see. Of how wealthy oppressed the people must be brought down. I want to know, are you a man? He despises wealth. Right, so he despises wealth. I think he's about justice. Oh, no time for philanthropy though. Oh no, sorry, no. It is a time for... Oh, for some reason I thought that was the opposite. Of how the wealthy oppress and must be brought down. Yes, he despises wealth. He'll love that. He'll love that to bits. Right, we're up there. The Elaines need the Romanis. Yes, they do. They need us. That'll give us a few bonuses. So we're on to 2 extra ships. Got a few turns left. How we wish to aid the people. He's cruel? Really? He's a cruel man. We only got the one then. One living to the southwest. £900, sure. Sell them. 15 grand worth. Put it in the tank. There's only one southwest, it's there. Far northeast of Resht. Resht. Where's Resht? It'll have been somewhere I've been there. Far northeast. Southwest. Right, well. southwest. I would say that that's guaranteed to be there. I think it probably is. I'd hate myself if I didn't go and check it out. If a cargo ship just fell into my lap right now, that'd be ridiculous. Course north. I think we could intercept something going to Ark, but again, I don't think we're fast enough, and we'd probably burn as much fuel as the cargo's worth going chasing after them. You know, it's a risk that may pay off, but just as equally might not. Right. Repair is nearly complete. Whatever. Just not that fussed now. We're not going to go after them, not unless they literally land on us. 8 hours of repairs. Not a lot, actually. Right. Radio room. And I got that confused. I thought that was the one that would give me clues to Tarkans. That's the captain's room, I think? Yes. No Tarkan. Southwest. It's honestly, it could be anywhere here now. In fact, I'm an idiot. And I bet, yep, I bet everyone's been looking at it. I've just realised, yep, west, not east. Oh, that's a daft one. It's there. It'll be there. If I gave him a full tank, no, can't. Right, whatever. We'll refuel and we'll leave. We'll go now. Right, we need some fuel. Right. I'm actually going to going to leave the Gepard here. The Gepard can start here when we finish. It can move up through these areas, gather a fleet, and possibly help us then afterwards. So at the very least, if there are enemies down this side of the map at the end, we should in quotation marks, be able to deal with that. Fingers crossed. Right, we're out of money. Which is not great news, I'll admit. Hopefully this will be the last time we have to sell something. I think I could just sell the electronic stuff. No, it's... They're rare and I wanted to keep them, but I'll just have to remember that they're up here, so... Right. Wait, did I just give that an order? No. No. That could have been a critical mistake. We can get there. Thank God for that. There. Just enough. And then we'll take Kiva. Right, that one's gone. Right, that's that. I'm just trying to think as well if I remembered that, if I finished that story from earlier about the World of Warships. Well, anyway, long story short, what basically happened with it is, as with all games, you know, I ended up getting balance patches and various things, and eventually just got to the point where, essentially, the game was, it was just at a point where you just couldn't play battleships. You know, the big giant derpy ships that everyone wants to play with, massive cannons, and just shell people from across the map and blast everything away. Well, they're just basically they got the patches made it so that they were almost impossible to play. We could go here and then into Kiva. We'll have enough fuel, just about, ish. Because I'm assuming we'll be able to buy a bit more. Just there. Yeah. Might be able to make that. We can probably swing it. Hmm. Yeah, and the more we clear, the better it is.
Warning, radar emission detected.
We're detecting them. Right. Nothing too crazy. Couple small ships, couple gladiators in there as well. Well, that one's dead. But yeah, basically that's happening. They've recently added submarines, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, now with destroyers everywhere and submarines, basically the life of a battleship is on that game is that you sit there not doing all that much damage because they decided, well, that it's unfair if a battleship just one hits everything. So you sit there slicing tiny chunks of health off of people, not doing a whole lot. And then everything exploded. Well, look at that. If it's actually kind to me with the loot, I actually win a bit of a profit almost. Oh, not quite. Small loss, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, just take it all as fuel. Money's not going to do me any good from this point on. But yeah, so basically, unless you're playing a destroyer or a submarine now, you just get popped by torpedoes all the time, constantly. Battleships they're designed in the game. They're supposed to be. It's kind of meant to be a rock paper scissors thing. Battleship players are meant to kill the cruiser players and keep the other battleships, the enemy battleships, busy. The cruisers are meant to act as anti-air because there's carriers in the game that just kind of occasionally drop rockets and bombs on you that just plinks away at your health and damages you. But the cruisers are meant to be really good at killing kind of more fast-moving targets, so they're better at other cruisers than the battleship. Well, they're decent against other cruisers, but they're really for killing destroyers, and the destroyers go around spamming torpedoes everywhere, and battleships can't steer and maneuver that quickly, so they just get ripped apart by destroyers. That's like the whole thing, like rock, paper, scissors. Except now they made it then so cruisers don't get absolutely mauled by battleships. And cruisers can spam high explosive ammo, which sets battleships on fire, so they're in a perpetual state of being on fire all the time. And they're not very good against cruisers anymore, so battleships are no longer a hard counter to anything. And destroyers have been buffed a lot. And now there's submarines that kind of just eat battleships even more, so at that point you have to ask, well, why are they even in the game? And it's kind of the similar thing here with the armor pierce. I'm a bit disappointed that it's... I mean, at least I would have preferred to have completed this campaign before that happened, because again, it's kind of just negated all of my designs at once. The only one that's still holding up is the Hellfire. The Wasp just gets popped. The Hornet just gets popped. You know, just laser armor piercing goes through. But oh well, something to be contended with. I think active protection systems and fast moving ships will probably be the way to go now. That and just tons of carriers. Just take all the carriers in the world. I mean, the way I would rebalance it myself, I would say they should ignore armor, but hit the first thing behind the armor. This nonsense of them going through like a laser beam and just doing massive damage to everything along the way is a bit much. That's not so much like armor piercing as it would be, you know, like higher caliber. Essentially, it seems strange to me how it works. But the other thing is, what would be another way of balancing it is you could keep it exactly how it is if you want to claim, oh, but it's fair and more realistic or whatever, but make it so only certain ships can use it. You know, if I went into a battle and I knew that, wow, that ship there, if they were like just how I load my ammo types, if it showed enemy ammo types that were loaded, and the different ships had different roles, so you came across, say, something with like a Navarin or something. I think they have 57 mils, don't they? But you come across something with a bunch of 57 mils. You know, it's, oh wow, it's got proximity ammo loaded or something. Best look out. That's gonna really mess with my missiles. I'll have to take that out before I fire any missiles. But then you saw, oh, it's an Archangel and it's got armor piercing loaded. Oh, right. Well, if I knew going in which ships to target and prioritize, and it wasn't just suddenly their laser targeters change colour and I die. You know, it would be nice if I knew what they had, or at the very least, if it were certain classes of ship used it. Like at the moment, it's anything that's 100 mil or above could be using it. If it was something specific like Archangels will use AP, I think Gladiators shouldn't be allowed it. They're just massively overpowered with AP because they've got 4 100 mils. Keep that in mind. 100 mils, dual 100s, fire 4 shells. There's 4 of them, so it's 4 times 4, right? 4 times 4. So, okay. So, they're each firing 16 shells. So, a Gladiator fires 16 shells. No, because it's dual 100 mils. They fire 32. If a Gladiator hits you, it will fire 32 armor-piercing shells at you, each ignoring your arm and capable of going through all of your internals immediately. Like, it's not in any way fair. But when has this game been fair, eh? I mean, we're about to enter the part where we get spammed by 50 million nukes from a single ship in a moment, so we'll see how it goes. But we'll start Kiva next time, we'll finish the battle, we'll watch the cutscene, and we'll get started on the end game. Thank you very much for watching. A bit of a longer episode, but I did want to find this Tarkin and get to Kiva. We will get at the end. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ships at the end we will get. And, moreover, we've got our Gepard over here ready to... Yeah, he's going to be... And thank God I've clicked on him to him. We don't have to have that beeping now. But we've got him. He can get some other ships here. If there aren't... How have I got a radio signal? The game's paused. It's paused. What? Anyway. If that isn't enough fuel to get to another location after this, because we need to get back to Mution, I'm sure I can probably buy some extra fuel tanks from here and just glue them on temporarily. But we'll basically build a fleet here, start with the Gepard and start hire whatever ships are there as reinforcements and just start moving along. And he should be able to land here with a nice fleet. Maybe send another ship along this way and start gathering people up, going kind of back in reverse. We'll send the Nomad to go through here, grab some reinforcements, and then hit this up to take this back. Or we could go through Ashdod and a CAD, swing back by here, maybe just drop a nuke on the way. In fact, no, we don't want to drop a nuke. That disables the city, so we can't get reinforcements from it. So we'll just go in, clear out what's there. We can send other ships around just grabbing things from here. We'll send a couple ships out this way. But yeah, fan out, get units covering every corner, figure out where those carriers have spawned in from, and then send the Hellfire out to hunt them down. Right, we'll start that next time. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you then. Goodbye.